Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Orion Tech Tips video. Happy Star Wars Day, and may the 4th be with you, at least at the time of this gameplay recording. In today's video, we will be playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the RX 7900 XTX and the Ryzen 7 9800X3D. We are playing Star Wars Battlefront 2, and as always, we are playing at 1440p. I will be playing two games, one at Ultra and the other at low. So the highest settings and the lowest settings, just to get a gauge of what our frame rate would be and really push both that GPU and CPU, and especially test out that L3 cache at the lower detail settings. So unlike most of the time, or I guess all the times, especially with this build configuration, I am actually just using the in-game FPS tracker, and what I like about this is AMD took away the CPU wattage. You can actually see that here. So I do like that. So you can see the frame rate, the CPU percentage, the temperature, the clock speed. AMD took that away too. The wattage, AMD took that away too. And then the GPU utilization, as well as the percentage next to that. That is the VRAM, the GPU temperature. Now keep in mind, this is the RX 7900 XTX XX Mercury magnetic air variant, which is like a 4-slot epic thermals. The heat performance is truly amazing. So the temperature, that's why it's so low. That's why I specifically chose this model and paid a little bit extra for it. I explained why in depth in the parts explained video, the parts overview video too, but that's those videos are there if you are interested. And of course the RAM utilization, which says percentage. I wish it said gigabytes. So 16% of 128 gigabytes is about 22 gigabytes. And I did try playing this game on 8 gigabytes of RAM. Shortly after the game launched, so more than a couple years ago. So this is a 9-year-old game that launched back in 2017. So yeah, keep that in mind. This, it is nice because the hardware required is certainly a lot lower. So notice our GPU, it's not maxed out. It's hovering between 80 and 90%, meaning if you do want to play this game at 4K, of course it's completely maxed out at 1440p, that is fine. You can certainly do that, and we are getting about between 180 and 200 FPS. I guess AAA games from 2017 aren't usually the super high refresh rate monitors didn't really exist. I do believe, if I remember correctly, the high-end monitor at the time was some Asus ROG 1440p 165 hertz, which was $800 at the time, which was crazy. Now you can get one for less than $200, and I think at 1080p you could do 240 hertz, super expensive. So that's why engines usually go above those super high frame rates. Yes, I see the footage. I will explain it in a second. Even Overwatch didn't go above 300 FPS. That was the cap until not too long ago. Okay. I love this game. However, this may be the last time I am playing it. Yes, I am seeing exactly what you are seeing. A couple years ago, the developers took a backseat, saying that they would be stepping away from this game. The developers stepped out and the hackers stepped in. So yes, this is a glitch that will not be patched. So I love this game. I've been playing it since 2017 or 2018. The first sale that this game had, I picked it up. I have not experienced this issue before. You can see the chat is just freaking the heck out. I do wish that Star Wars Battlefront 2, or I guess EA and DICE, would make these FPS, the performance numbers, bigger. I did set it to large, but this is the biggest it will go. So you really have to like squint or like really step up close to the monitor to see it. For our CPU utilization, we're using about half of the CPU, or not, I guess that not peaked. I guess when we're really like seeing the entire map, there's a lot more data to load in, but we're not even touching the hyper threading, or I guess that's an Intel term, but we're not touching the threads on the CPU. So half of the CPU would be about 8 cores, but we're not touching the threads. I guess this game doesn't really benefit from using a lot of L3 cache, as you will see later on when I do record the next game at the lowest settings. And another issue that I have not seen before is like the cursor is just completely locked, so you can move, you can fire, but you can't look up. So that's why like I'm pushing the mouse up, but nothing actually is happening. Just the same, I really love this game. I do want to see a Battlefront 3, but it's been nearly a decade. We've asked a lot, I guess, Battlefront updates. Elliot, I've watched him since, I think, the beginning, at least 2016, which is over, I guess, 10 years ago now. That's insane to think about. There's a lot of rumors that Battlefront 3 will be coming out, but at the end of the day, it's usually a different Star Wars game, but I still have my hopes up. I know we got, like, that disastrous remaster, and nothing really came of that, but that was the last time, like, a new quote-unquote, Battlefront game was released, even though it was just a remaster that didn't even look as nice as these ones. So, yeah, CPU wattage, if anyone cares, we're hovering about 70 watts. And I guess the GPU, I guess it doesn't show the GPU wattage, but it certainly is staying under the, like, 400 watts. Typically, like, I'm hitting exactly 389 watts, if anyone cares. So I would recommend a 1,000 watt power supply, though you could get away with 850, I guess, at a minimum. I do have a 1,200 watt just because I got a good deal. I would go with a 1,000 watt, though, just for that extra room, but 1,200 really means you could just install, like, I could throw in a 5090 and just be absolutely fine. And you see, like, right here, I am having that same exact cursor problem. So yeah, that is the performance metrics. I do want to test more games as well. I am curious, what games do you want to test? What content do you want on the channel? I know it's been like 3 months. I guess that's... I was trying to do like a week, but then of course, video every week to like test out the performance. I know Tech Deals did like 50 parts on his RX 480 i5 6600 cyber power build back in the day, which is crazy. That would be cool if I could do the same thing. But yeah, I know I said I would do like an all-out build of like a system that I built, or a more like price performance oriented. But yes, I see the RAM prices. Yes, I see the SSD prices. I have like a bunch of, even the GPU prices, VRAM especially has skyrocketed. I have friends coming up to me saying, hey, I want like a budget $1,000 build, or like $1,000 max. I'm like, that. No, in good faith, I cannot recommend that you build a $1,000 computer, because it will age very fast. It will age poorly, and then you will be disappointed here relatively shortly, if not like immediately when you build this. So just stick to consoles for now, and then when the AI bubble does burst and prices do settle down, then you can build your custom-built PC. I kind of got out of the last chopper in Nam when I built the computer, when I bought the 120 gigabytes of RAM and the 8 terabyte SSD back in, when was this? August of 2025. So like right when, like right before the AI bubble just skyrocketed. Okay, so that was the Ultra gameplay. I would say it handled it very nicely. And now I will do the low gameplay. But to summarize, I mentioned the RAM. You obviously don't need 120 gigabytes of RAM to play this game. That's for like productivity, virtual machines, production work, video editing, coding, all that stuff. You could get away with 16 gigabytes if you just want to play older titles, though I would still recommend 32 for a mainstream modern gaming computer. Yes, I know the RAM prices are insane, but that doesn't change the hardware requirements, unfortunately. Please don't shoot the messenger. You certainly don't need an X3D CPU. You could have a 9700X, 7700X, or even a 5800X. I mean, if not less, my 1700X just ran this game fine. And then if you want to do 1440p, you could certainly get away with a much lower card, something like a RX 70... or even like a 6800 would be great, or even a 6700 XT, if not less. Again, at 1080p, this game runs just fine on an RX 580 or 6650 XT. Though if you do want to play at those higher resolutions, you will certainly have to bump up the gameplay, or certainly you will have to bump up the hardware, rather. This game also wasn't that VRAM intensive. As you can see, we're not even close to saturating the full 24 gigabytes, which makes sense because 24 gigabyte cards, I guess, weren't... The 3090 came out in 2020, I believe, so 3 years after this game launched. But yeah, overall, I love this game. I'm just heartbroken that the developers walked away from it and now the hackers took over. But yeah, okay, you can enjoy the low gameplay, and I will see you in the next video. God bless.
We defend Mass's castle while our friends hop aboard a transport. No reason it can't work. No reason at all.
Back to the action! Grenade armed! Have one of these!
Stormtroopers could win a fight. All right, we're overrun. Pull back and let's regroup. You're doing fine. We've got a transport coming to pick up our friends in the castle. Just gotta keep delaying those troopers. They're coming for the castle's defenses next. Protect the east and west sides, and watch for first-order explosives. Go. the east side. Look, just get out of there. We lost the memorial, but we've got room to fall back. Go! So, new plan. Our pals in the castle are prepping for evac. Meanwhile, stormtroopers are coming for the 2 turrets in this sector. They're the only thing keeping first-order reinforcements from landing, so protect them as long as you can.
Remember the general's words! Clear for grenade! You can't help from there! Don't run out on me!
Top-tier enemy operative landing now!
Targets approaching. Switching to zone. Crew, take.
Elite resistance forces landing! Ready!